Good evening. Keynote speakers Ms. Sasi Deshpande and Mr. Jerry Pinto, artist Mr. Viraj Nayak, Mr. Yatin Kakotkar, President, International Center Goa, delegates, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the International Center Goa, it is my pleasure to welcome you all to the 9th edition of the Goa Arts and Literature Festival, or GALF. The festival is organized by ICG, that is the International Center Goa, in association with Goa writers, and except for the inaugural held at the ICG campus in Donapala. A few days ago, during a press conference held at ICG, a somewhat curious question popped up. Why does Goa need to host an arts and literature festival when there are now countless literature festivals held across the country all through the year? There are many reasonable answers to the question, but let me repeat what I said then in not so many words. Goa is, and we can disagree and argue about that, a tiny marginal state far away from New Delhi and the heartland. It is a state largely known for tourism. Almost everything else about Goa remains unknown in most parts of the country. As a result, nearly everything that happens in Goa stays in Goa, and only occasionally news about Goa and its residents, what they do, reaches Mumbai and beyond. This matters, and it is important we understand that a large majority of Goa's emerging writers, poets, artists, musicians and others are disconnected from and largely unknown to the rest of India. And this is precisely one of the reasons why GALF is terrifically important. What GALF does, among other things, is provide the necessary space for Goans to be able to showcase their contributions to the world of arts and literature. A space that is not easily or necessarily available everywhere elsewhere. In all fairness, perhaps some other festivals too provide space and opportunity to local talent. But the larger point is that the availability of the space is especially important for those in small states like Goa or those others which lie at the margins, whether geographically or in our collective imagination. This brings me to the second reason why GALF is important. Because it attracts both emerging and well-known writers from the rest of India, as also a small number from abroad, GALF provides the much-needed inspirational and intellectual milieu, and more for local writers on the one hand, and visitors on the other, to learn from and about each other firsthand. The ambience, or allow me to use the word mahal, at the International Center Goa campus complements and completes the rest of what it takes to make GALF what it is. GALF is not a large festival. For a small festival, however, it packs a lot of diversity in terms of hosting writers who write in different languages, on diverse themes, and in different forms. GALF could perhaps benefit from greater ideological diversity, especially and more so since it is well known for its openness and freedom to debate competing versions of truth. Any reference to the margins immediately takes us back to the origins and objectives of GALF. Those of you who have been associated with GALF since its early days, and I have not, would know that the festival is founded to celebrate the margins, taking inspiration from different ways of belonging, an idea developed by the late Eunice D'Souza. GALF curators put in a lot of effort to bring writers from the subcontinent's geographic and cultural margins, this time, for example, from as far as Kashmir, Sikkim, and Bhutan. It is also quite fitting that a few years ago, GALF began to organize Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Memorial Lectures, which has featured eminent Dalit writers and thinkers. This year, we continue with the tradition. At this point, I would like to say a few words about ICG before I thank all friends of GALF. ICG was effectively born in 1996 when it was inaugurated by the former President of India, the late Dr. Shankar Dayal Sharma. General Sunit Rodrigues served as ICG's founding director. ICG was conceived as a forum to bring together academics, writers, public policy experts, artists, business and community leaders, and all other kinds of achievers and creative people from India and abroad. Contrary to popular belief, ICG is not funded by the government, except partially for specific programs such as GALF. And for even such as GALF, we truly appreciate the continued support from the government of Goa. Other than GALF, since 2016, ICG co-organizes Difficult Dialogues, an annual international conference that focuses on one key theme of relevance to India. Past conferences have taken up topics such as health, civil society, and gender. In 2019, the theme will be education. We also organize ICG lectures periodically, and recent speakers have included 2 current members of the Prime Minister's Economic Advisory Council. This year, also, ICG launched its annual ICG Research Grants competition, and 2 Bangalore-based academics, Malini Tantri and Nalin Kumar, will receive substantial financial support for their project on nutrition security in Goa. Earlier this year, ICG also launched Kitab, Books in Discussion, with the 2015 Infosys Award winner Srinath Raghavan's The Most Dangerous Place, A History of the United States in South Asia. In a few months, we'll launch our annual endowed lectures with Matrish Ghatak of the London School of Economics. These are only some of the new initiatives that ICG has launched or will be launching soon. ICG has 200 plus members, which include journalists, academics, lawyers, business people, and others. Our 30-odd institutional members include academic institutions such as the IITs in Bombay and Goa, Goa University, Nehru Memorial Museum and Library, Ahmedabad University, and Center for Budget and Policy Studies. More such institutions are expected to become our members in the coming year. On behalf of ICG, I would like to thank our festival partners, Goa Writers, and Director of Art and Culture, Government of Goa. Thank you, Mr. Viraj Nayak, for preparing the official GALF 2018 artwork. Thanks are due to all our sponsors, donors, hospitality partners, media partners, and volunteers, without whom this festival would not be possible. GALF 2018 has received significant contributions from Goa Tourism Development Corporation, Difficult Dialogues, the Goan Group of Newspapers, Tempo Group, HDFC Bank, Broadway Book Center, also our bookstore partner, and Goa Shipyard. Thanks also to Festival Literario Internacional do Interior, Portugal, and Sahitya Academy. We also thank all those who have contributed by way of advertisements in the festival brochure and offered assistance in kind. Mr. Mauzo and Mr. Menezes of Goa Writers have worked hard over the past several months to put GALF together, as they have over the last 8 years. Mr. Yatin Kakotkar, President, ICG has worked silently and tirelessly for the past many years, as well as this year, to ensure that ICG has sufficient fuel, funding that is, to organize and host GALF. Thank you. A special thank you to the media for their generous coverage and support for GALF in the days leading to GALF. Finally, a big thank you to all speakers and delegates for joining us for GALF 2018. Thank you.